Some choose to wake up in this lifetime and transcend the contractions and chaos of the 3D reality of separation. And some of us just, want to learn a couple of lessons or not, and just stay in the drama and the throes and the excitement of the karmic wheel, which just binds us to 3D polarity. So no judgment. Some may hold light and not even know that that's what they're doing. Some may be just living an ordinary life, or what seems to be just ordinary on the outside world, with no knowledge and grand announcement to the world that they are a bearer of light. Some are leaders, visionaries, luminaries of the light, and lead groups. That's more external. Lead groups in that direction of the light. But in this new world, this new earth, we are all, as always, invited to wake up to the light of our own true nature. The difference now is that this calling is being answered by more than has ever said yes to the light in all of our incarnations before that. Since the time the darkness set in, the fall from grace, the fall from grace is the shift from 5D to 3D. And the new light and the new light codes that are beaming onto the planet from all of the star nations that are watching and supporting us very closely right now, encouraging us to become aware of their presence, aware of their love, aware of their support. And to deepen not just our relations with our loved ones or cohorts that we surround ourselves with physically in the world, but to deepen our relationships with the non-physical world. Yeah, this has been the juiciest part of my life in the last 2 years. Now, I never thought I'd say that. I never thought my life would look like this. But now that I've surrendered to it, it is really cool. And so this deepening all of our relationships, because listen, our physical ones are the bread and the butter. But this deepening our relationships with spirit, this is where the magical, mystical relations lie. We are sparks of this divine energy, purposely placed here in the embrace of unconditional love. But if you don't have a strong connection to this divine ultimate love, this internal place that we say hello to, connect to, breathe into, then we'll be seeking all our love in the world around us. And that is where the disappointment sets in. We expect people to see our light and to love us unconditionally. But you see, most people aren't showing much of their light. It's masked. I mean, they do when they want to, or when they feel good, or when they're happy. But it's not a consistent thing. And it's usually masked in judgment and impatience and sorrows and fear and victimhood and disappointment and regrets, etc., etc. These are our shadows. And unless you're doing conscious spiritual work, like we are here, no one talks about shadows. Why would they? Run into someone at Safeway. Hey, how are your shadows? Oh, great, Jan. How are yours? Wonderful. I mean, we just don't do that. We talk about surface stuff. So this is a safe place where we talk about our shadows because they're ours. And when they step into the light, they're no longer a shadow. And then the healing has taken place. And then there's more of us present. And in this divine line, a bigger cup, if you will, to hold this magical, mystical light that I'm talking about, that is this unconditional love that is always, 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 always there and always present. So the habit we can get into is that our relations can tend to be from one person's shadow to another person's shadows that are tied to a mutual judgment they have or perception of our 3D reality. Could be one person's wounds talk to another person's wounds, and they are having communication from skewed perceptions of reality. So this is non-namaste. This is like, I don't see the God in you. I am busy looking at all your shadows, and I'm trying to discern if I like you or not, if I'm safe or not. And, you know, I want out. So, yeah, the shadows hide, and our ego would prefer that it stays that way, unless the ego would like to use them against you. So the ego is suspicious at best and vicious at worst. And so if we're feeling the ego up because we're in judgment, or we're having relations to other people's shadows, or we can't accept what's going on, or we are at war with the world and we feel stuck, our ego's not going to be like, hey there, I'm your self-hatred, and you know what, I'm going to stop doing it now, and let's really up our vibration. Like, the ego will never say that. So the ego only exists in the 3D. It was not born from God, from source. It was born in the realm of separation. And its only job is to keep us alive. However, it's on so hypervigilant alert that it thinks everything is a threat. So even the thoughts and feelings you feel, thoughts you think, the stuff that you think you know of as you, comes from others that you meet with in life, or the family you grew up with, or your past lives, because we're all influencing each other and labeling each other. And because we're not having this conscious conversation with source, we believe everybody's opinions about us, good and bad. So this is why it can be so hard, because we are oriented to the desire to belong. So the ego says, what do you think of me? Do you like me? Am I lovable? Do you see my worth?